but there's something really exciting about this industry.
Mhm.
And I mean, you see it and you said it yourself. So many people want to be in it. And
Mhm.
it's business, but it's also so creative. And there are few industries that really tie that together
Yeah.
so seamlessly.
Okay, so the year is 2035. Scottie has built a amazing media company that is syndicated and spread across every major city in the United States. Um, how much am I worth? I'm worth like
A couple Billy.
who Billy's crazy. 2035? 2035?
Okay,
No,
you
maybe
got
like
That might be accurate, actually.
700 million. 700 million. That's a good number.
oh, bro, you scare me. Cause like I was gonna say like maybe I wasn't even gonna say 50. I was gonna say like 12. I gotta think big.
You gotta
think
go.
big.
You gotta go all the way.
You ever heard that thing on TikTok? It's like think big, bitch. You ever seen that? You ever seen that thing?
You know what? You would do well in the hospitality industry, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because having a hospitality company is almost the same as having like a marketing and a digital company in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. Because you're always creating, you're always thinking of, the next big thing. So half the time I'm like, I have a marketing company, not a hospitality company,
Yeah.
but they're one and the same.
And that's what I was gonna. So yeah, I'm worth 700 million. Great.
Okay.
Ooh, I love that number.
Bitch.
Sorry.
Do you like that number? I think it's a good number.
700 million is a great number. I come to Avondale Equities. I'm like, yo, I want to start this company. What are the things you're gonna look at to say, or like, what would make you guys say yes?
Well,
Maybe it's not that simple.
I mean, do you have a concept, or are we thinking of the concept with you? I need a little more.
Ooh, shit, it got real quick, Solomon. I do have I have a concept. I want to call it Scott.
Okay.
So I have a name.
The name is there. The first thing.
I want it to be sexy. The thing that inspires me is like a Joey. I like Joey a lot.
Oh yeah, Joey's is great.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's this restaurant where there's a slight high end feel to it, but it's also very for like the comfortable and almost like for the common man almost, right? But at the same time, somewhat affordable, but you still get that. Here's a glass of champagne when you walk in, right? But it's also not over the top. That's as far as I got. But based on that,
I got you.
What would you guys start to look at in that way?
Well, I think if you have first of all, you need like that niche, which it seems like you're starting to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you came to us and you were like, this is what I want to do, this is the area that needs it,
Mm-hmm.
we would say, okay, great. Well, I mean, let's say we either have the building already or we didn't. I think that would kind of depend. But
you'd be like, we're gonna need some of that.
I honestly would need more information. But let's say you wanted to come into West Hollywood and you were like, this is my concept. I know it's gonna do well here. West Hollywood is missing XYZ and we need it here.
Mm-hmm.
We would say, okay, great. These are the options of the buildings. This is what we can do with the build out. I mean, you're really giving me very little to work with, but the answer is yes. We would work with you.
Well, let me add on to, have you ever come across a situation where someone's come to you with a great idea and you said, you know what, we love that. But then at the same time, you felt like maybe after your due diligence, that person wasn't really qualified to pull it off? Has that ever happened?
Yeah, it has happened. But more than that, I think that they also realize it and they don't want to get themselves in a financial situation that, they're not comfortable with. And that's why we do our due diligence on it and we educate them, because this is the first thing I said when I came on here. We want our tenants to do really well.
For sure.
We don't want to be putting someone in there that's like in 4 months after we did all the work and they did all the work and everyone spent so much money and time and energy.
And it flops.
We don't want that. We want it's beneficial for both the person or the concept and for us.
Is there like a road, like we want this, we're going for 10 years that we want this to be, or even longer?
That's the goal. We definitely want longevity. And more than that, it's that it's kind of goes back to the teamwork thing. It's like, we want to get the right people in there because it also helps us and makes our job easier and better. Because you don't want to be looking for new people all the time. It's time consuming.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
What's more important for a restaurant? Food taste and quality or the service?
food, taste, and quality, or the service. Well, there are three things that in every restaurant are very important and they're standard: food, ambiance, and service. You hit the head on two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have two out of the three, you're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you have three out of the three, you're killing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have one out of the three, you have to work on it. So I think my message, and to answer your question, is you should have the staples: good food, good service, and good ambience, because that's why you would want to come back.
Got it. Okay. I have 2 tweets that I'm going to have you react to.
Okay.
If there's anything else I didn't touch on, let's touch on it before we bring these up. Anything? Nothing?
I don't know. You
I think we're good. Yeah. I don't
do
know
you
if
have
this is-
anything you want to share with me? Sorry, I'm just getting comfy over here.
No, you're good. You're good. We have 2 tweets I want you to react to. And then we'll line it up. So this tweet says, tipping culture in LA is wild. I just tipped 20% for someone to hand me a muffin, no service, no smile, just pure muffin transfer. At this point, I'm not tipping for service. I'm tipping to avoid the shame of being that guy. What's your take on that?
That's a very interesting tweet. So I think tipping culture kind of went through a trend, just the way that fashion goes through. Sorry, I need to start that over. Tipping culture went through a huge trend and a shift, and it's just the way that. Guys, I need a second. I'm sorry. I just went brain dead. I know what I want to say. Okay. Are you ready for me?
1 second.
Okay.
Okay.
So this tweet brings up a lot of different things for me. Tipping culture really went through a shift. We saw the rise of tipping, and now I think we're seeing like the decline of tipping. And everything goes through trends just like fashion does and all of that. But I think the first thing to think about is that a lot of the service staff, they depend on tips for their income. So that is really important. And a lot of them are working really hard and doing their best to provide an amazing standard of service. I think this tweet doesn't really exemplify that, because it's saying the guy didn't smile at me, they just handed me a muffin and they were upset. So
Yeah.
that's of course not what we like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, the standard of service, everyone's doing their best when they are serving you. Obviously not this person that was handing over the muffin. And then to answer the second part of it, which is I'm paying 20% for my muffin.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to quick service, that 20% standard, 18 to 20% standard, I don't really think it applies as much. It's more of like a discretionary,
Yeah.
aspect. And as is tipping in general. But when you're going to sit down at a restaurant and have like a full service experience, it is really important to tip. I mean, unless like something crazy happened, but
Do you shun like non-tippers? Like
do I shun non-tippers?
people who don't like you? There's no way.
I mean,
I've never seen you mad. I don't even know if you're capable of being mad at this point. At this point in the conversation, I don't think you could ever be mad. People who don't tip have to piss you off. They have to.
I think it's really rude because, I mean, look, I wasn't at their experience. I'm the kind of person that I tip no matter what when especially when I'm at a full service restaurant, because that's how people make their wages.